Hey YouTube, so today we are talking about something that is hopefully, equally important in our lives, but we'll be honest, one of them kind of gets left behind, and that is dog training and fitness.
Now, when I say fitness, or when we say fitness, one thing I was thinking, I was out here this morning, birds are singing, really lovely day, and actually I just felt really suddenly pretty good. I was like, you know what, I'm looking after me and I'm looking after my dog all at the same time. So actually my fitness is benefiting. Now, first up, we have to set up our area. So I'm going to set up an area. Today I'm going to be doing dog sports with you. We think that that's something that could be considered fitness, but actually there's loads of things that you do in dog sports, whether it's heel work, whether it's recall.
Even just working with your dog and interacting with your dog
playing
and
games.
Going to different places with your dog and playing games. So if you've watched any of our videos in our YouTube channel, then you'll know that actually most of them involve movement to a lesser or greater extent. And if you haven't watched them, then make sure to check them out.
So I'm going to set up our area. Now, when I'm setting up our area, this is part of it. Now, I know that you guys might be being tough on yourselves and thinking, well, this isn't fitness. There's nothing here that's fitness. Here's the thing. Actually, fitness is getting your steps in. If you're one of those people that likes to count steps, I've got a friend, you'll laugh at this, Tom, and she said only the other day, we went for this massive hike. She said, I'm so annoyed I didn't have my step counter on. And I was like, that's not the point. The point is that you're literally doing your steps. You're fine, Callum, you're good. You keep rolling.
If it's not tracked, then it's not happened.
Yeah, and the thing is that absolutely, as you're working through all these things, actually we've got to look at what is the real purpose of this? What is the real sort of goal of this? What is the real deal here? And actually it's putting in the steps. Now, those of you that might be thinking, actually, I shouldn't be counting this. This doesn't count. This is where I think we need easy wins. I think it's an easy win, Tom.
There
it's
is
an easy win.
Easy win that's happened.
And what is an easy win? Let's just explain that.
And that's the thing, there are things that you do all the time where you wouldn't count them as fitness, and yet they absolutely are. And I know, because I've been there myself, and I can guarantee that you would have been there, where you have this big idea. You're like, okay, I've got this big win. I'm going to lose 3 kilos. I'm going to, I don't know, go to the gym every day. And as soon as you have a day where you don't do your diet, or you don't go to the gym, or whatever it might be, you feel this guilt, and that guilt actually then stops you from getting back on it. And so what you're doing is you're kind of chunking things and saying, I'm going to make this big, unachievable thing that I'm going to hold myself accountable to, and when I don't do it, then I'm going to feel really rubbish and never get back to it because that feeling was so punishing. What we're saying is actually easy wins. Every time you move, you're doing fitness. Every time you work with your dog, you are actually using your fitness regime.
And basically your dog helps you with fitness, which is why it's amazing to have a dog. Now let me explain what we're doing over here. I'm still getting my steps in. So loads of you will have seen weave poles, and you'll look at them, weave poles, when the dogs do the agility or like the dog acrobatics or whatever you want to call it. They call it Olympia, where we compete the diggy dog time. It's all good. And so whatever it is that we call this, I call it agility. This is weave pole training. We're not saying you have to do this. What I'm saying is these are some of the things I'll be doing, and I'm setting this up in a different place each time. Now, whatever you're training, you should change that habitat, change that environment. I might set it here, I might set it down there, I might set it over there. If I'm feeling super lazy, I'll just move it over there. And so I'm moving these all the time. Now, just as a sort of interesting and probably pointless fact, but I'm going to give it to you anyway, I want you to see how I'd actually train this. So what we do when we're first training this is we pivot these and we allow our dogs an easier way through. And all of the time that I'm training, and my little dog's just in this crate over here, so you can have a look and a span down to her. She's waiting her turn. She'll be ready to go in a minute. You ready? Are we ready? Yeah? So she'll be going in a minute. So I'm keeping her fitness ready for when it's her go, because I don't want her to get too tired. I actually want all of her fitness for this. I'll be putting my steps in all the time, moving, adjusting, working through these. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't go well. It's dog training and I'm adjusting all the time. But these, I'll be moving them, tweaking them, pulling them around a little bit, looking at these. These are actually a little bit on a hill. We're going to go with it. It's fitness. And I'll be adjusting like that throughout the whole of my session. Now, I'm also going to use a little treat machine. Again, you're getting in
steps
on, yeah, you're getting your steps in. You're going to get your, I've dropped one, I'm going back of the head, get those ones. More steps, more steps. And so I am going to be using a little treat machine, and the treat machine often it's an annoying machine. It often likes to break. So that's another one that just makes me work a little bit harder. Now, I know you're very excited. You can hear it, can't you? So I'm going to be doing this one. I'm going to do a short weave session. I'll move around a bit. You'll probably get to watch, which is quite nice. We'll see how it goes. Are you ready, Wildy? Are you ready? Ready? I know. Ready? This way, I know. You want to see that machine. 3, 2, 1. Nice, good girl. And I'll be aiming the whole time to move myself and put myself in a different place. So I'll be aiming to move myself and put myself in a different place every single time, if I possibly can. There we go. Ready? Well, 3, 2, 1.
Now,
nice.
The cool thing is, guys, that
Super.
actually you're doing this all the
Super.
time. Yeah, you might not be training agility. You might be doing something else entirely. You might be training your dog to do a recall using the videos in the YouTube channel, or maybe you're one of our training academy students. And the cool thing is, guys, that actually this is fitness. Now, one thing to be aware of, and this is kind of a little like top fitness tip, is that actually you've got to acknowledge that it happens. And so Lauren mentioned that kind of crazy example of her friend was really gutted that actually the steps weren't being recorded. She didn't have her app with her. But it kind of highlights that, you know what, we have to acknowledge when we're doing it. And so keeping something like a fitness diary where you don't put, I did an hour at the gym in the fitness diary. Instead, you log any episodes of like movement, or anytime you're on the go, or anytime you're working with your dog or without your dog.
We might almost treat it like we have a camera here. It does the same. It tells you when there's any movement. Actually, this is when movement's happening. And actually, for me, this is a lovely break. She says, ready, steady, go. And this is a lovely break to my day. So I look forward to doing this. I'm teaching her to weave. I'm adjusting the poles. I'm going to adjust this middle one here. Keep her busy over there. And let's see if she can do it, just as a little aside. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Ready, Wildy. Yes, good girl. And that's how we teach weaves, and it's a nice one for you to see. It's something we do on the Training Academy, Agility Academy. But equally, like Tom said, it would be an episode of movement. So this, for me, ready, set, is an episode, nice, of movement. Now, one thing I hear people say is, maybe you have a disability, or maybe you have something that inhibits what you can do. What we want to look at is, don't say what you can't do and what is not possible. Actually, let's look at what is possible. So it might be, I don't know if you want to talk about our air sprints.
Yeah, Tom. Exactly. So for example, if I'm feeling a little bit low energy, I don't know, I'm at the vet clinic, I've got crazy day of behaviour consults, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm lagging a little bit. I'll actually gamify it in a way. And that is that I might do a quick air sprint in the concert. My legs aren't even moving, just my arms. And I think this highlights actually one thing that is true of dog training and fitness, that the more you turn things into a game, the better. The more you gamify things, and there's that like quick win, access to an easy win, the more you're going to want to access it and get involved in it. And an example being that I put a pull-up bar on the second floor of my house, and the game is that every time I pass that, even if I am like desperate to go to the toilet or something, right? Or I just went upstairs
Too much information, Tom. Too much information.
What's a really different? I was thinking, what's a really challenging example? Or I forgot my wallet upstairs and I'm about to leave the house. If I pass that pull-up bar, I have to do at least 3 pull-ups, right? But because you make it easy, you make it accessible, you're like, oh, well, I'm here, I'm going to do 5, now I'm going to do 10, now I'm going to do 20, right? But I think what often the human brain does is tries to make this big, crazy task that we must do every day. And day 3, we don't do it. The guilt is crippling, and in turn, we never do it again because we found it so unrewarding.
Most of all, we want to look at what we can do. Yeah. Right, Tom? So whether what you can do is, I'm going to say I've just been doing some weightlifting. I'm lifting my weight. She's 7 kilos. And I'm going to put my weight down. Ready, steady, go. And Tom, I don't know if you want to talk through air sprints, because air sprints is something most people might have in the back pocket.
And it's so simple. And it might be that you challenge yourself that every time you're feeling a little bit low energy, that you do an air sprint. And the air sprint's so easy. Literally, you've got 2 hands, and all you're going to do is you are going to do the hand movement like you're sprinting, and you're going to go cheek,
you can even do it while you're doing it.
And you're going to go really fast, and maybe you're going to do 10 seconds or 20 seconds or 30 seconds, whatever it might be, but keep it something that's super achievable so that you win and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to do
3,
5 seconds
Wildy,
more.
Wildy.
So you can see how dog training and fitness, they're so
Go,
super
one.
linked. You can see how the
Super.
principles with which we inspire great behavior and habits in our dogs, we can do exactly the same with us. That was this episode of Absolute Dogs TV. Check out the other videos on the YouTube channel because you will find many excuses to move when you watch them, and we will see you next time.
Remember, game changers, whatever the dog owning struggle, there's a game for that.
If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to our channel.
And check out our new 25-day online dog training challenge. Watch the videos, play the games, transform your dog owning struggles.
As a loyal YouTube subscriber, you can get a 70% discount through the link in the description below.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to the #1 most transformational dog training podcast on iTunes and Spotify, the Sexier Than a Squirrel podcast.
And remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more live teaching, video content and free training using the links in the description.